something of relevance. We attracted them in college. We had a captive audience then. But then along the way, somehow we lost meaning for them as professionals, and we have to regain that. We have to stem the tide of lost membership, and the membership committee has been working with me, and it is my hopes of adding 1,000 new members back to the roll. 1,000. So how are we going to do this? Why, you, of course. This is the part where you roll up your sleeves. With more than 8,000 members in this organization, if a slim 10% of you reached out to another journalist and brought them into this fold, we would be closing in on restoring our numbers to where they should be. Stop for a moment and think about that. I'm asking 1 out of every 10 of you to convince someone else to join SPJ. Now, certainly 10% of you in this room can adequately explain to a non-member the value of being in this organization. In fact, I'd like to think that every one of you in this room can make a good case for belonging to SPJ. So don't look at the person next to you. Don't look around, hide your face, and say, that person isn't 10%. I need you to be that person. I need you to be that person and promise that you will do this one small task this year, and we will rise again in the power of our numbers at a time when this is unheard of. Tell them that SPJ is relevant, and you will see this prophecy fulfilled. Because as we grow and we become stronger, we will not just be relevant, we will be indispensable in their professional lives. That's just one step. Next is the need to increase involvement that matters on every level, whether it's chapters, the committees, the board, not just on paper, but tangible activities. For the last 3 months, I have been working to set up committees and people who are committed to SPJ and want to work at making us better in these difficult times. I've been calling people, I've been emailing them, texting them, probing, prodding, twisting arms, and I have to tell you, I have added a number of energetic people to the committees. And I'm very happy about that. And they know they have their work cut out for them. In some cases, I've had to say thank you for your service to some committee people who are not working as hard for SPJ as I would like. I need more energy. I need more commitment. And that was tough. I didn't like doing it. Let me tell you, these are tough times. This convention theme attests to the dire straits of our industry. Well, we know that eventually we're going to pull out of this and things are going to turn around. We know it because we're going to do it here. We're going to make it happen. And we're going to do it member by member, committee by committee, board members, the staff, the president. It is going to be a united effort to turn the tide. At this point, I would like to do this small thing. I would like everyone who is a member of the board to please stand up and be recognized and remain standing. Everyone who's a member of the National Board, please stand up and remain standing, please. Now, if you're a committee chair, would you also please stand up and remain standing? If you were serving on a committee, please stand up and remain standing. Okay. Those of you who are standing up, look around at the people who are seated. Those are the people you are working for, and those are the people who need to work with you. Thank you very much for your service. I appreciate it. You see, I can't do this by myself. The board of directors cannot do it alone, and neither can all of these people who just stood up and applauded, or just applauded who were standing. It's going to take you. There has to be a fire inside you that says, I am going to work a little harder and a little longer for SPJ this year and its missions. If that means serving on a committee, then I welcome you to do that. If that means shoring up your local chapter with better programs and more projects, please do that. If it means mentoring a student, accept that responsibility. Whatever you do will be appreciated and not just lets us keep our head above water, but lets us move forward. And why can't we start that right now? Right here, this very moment, as we end this convention. I'm ready to do that. You see, I think now is the best time to chart the course of the situation, and SPJ is the best pilot to move us forward. Don't you agree? Yes. Point 3, and there's no other ones after this. Point 3. But this is probably the most important. Discussions about the future of journalism have to involve SPJ. I don't see it any other way, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that people around this country and around this globe know that when you discuss the future of SPJ, you darn well better invite the largest journalism group in this country to the table and listen to what we have to say. I mean, after all, does SPJ want to leave the future of journalism to smaller, less influential organizations? Why should we leave it up to Senate subcommittees? And why would we leave it up to someone with an MBA who's devising the best business model for his multi-million-dollar conglomerate? You see, we have 9,000 members, 9,000 minds, 9,000 spirits. And we are simple in our needs to harness these spirits and intellect and combine them with the right amount of elbow grease. That is why we are going to have a special task force this year, working to help lead the discussion and get us to the head of the class. The future of journalism is a special group that's been formed that will look at our future. One group that's going to examine the landscape and talk and listen and observe and come back with recommendations about where we think this profession is headed. SPJ needs to make a statement about our industry and what we think needs to be done to right this ship. We want to make sure we know what we're talking about before we go forward with our report, and we're going to do that. And that's a tough task. The second group is going to work to help see what we can do for journalists right now who have been displaced. We will load our website with information, sources, and resources to help those who have lost their job. Real-time help for displaced workers. SPJ has a plan that will work with you, help you retain and retool yourself, and help you get back in the marketplace. And that $72 membership fee will be your best investment. That's what I want to see happen. And thirdly, as I mentioned before, our membership committee will work to regain those who have drifted away, and you'll do what you can to help. Because I just asked you to do that, and I see that commitment on your face now. Additionally, in the coming years, our ethics committee will take a hard look at the code to see if we need to make some modifications that reflect the landscape of the last 13 years since it was last revised. Our FOI committee chair, David Coyer, is going to take his one-man show on the road next year, speaking the gospel of free press rights. And look for him in a town near you. The diversity committee is restarting the diversity fellowship and will be working overtime to assist minority journalists and train them in multimedia to help them retain or regain their jobs. And the ideas and the projects for next year just grow and grow, and there are too many to name and discuss in detail, but I promise no one is going to be sitting on their hands. International, Gen J, digital media, freelance, professional development, legal defense fund, journalism, education, grants, 18 committees, all with a mission to accomplish something of significance in this coming year. A year in which we, as a profession,